What is up, and everybody, welcome. It has been a long time. I have been wanting to bring this back. Welcome back to the Fatman Gaming Podcast. I have a new host who I think is going to work out incredibly well. This is my buddy here, Nate. Introduce yourself, bud.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm 31 years old. I've been gaming for most of my life. I started playing classic Mega Man games when I was a kid. Then I took a break for parenting reasons, and then eventually got back into gaming, playing Metal Gear, and got more serious. And now I'm here. Yeah.
Perfect. So, for those of you who don't know, some of you might, because I've mentioned it several times before, but Nathan and I used to work together in the same retro store, and that's how we met and became friends and all that. And yeah, so with that experience, I feel like become a better podcaster just from my experience working with customers and doing the things that we do over there. And it's like I said, it's been a while, and I've been wanting to get this going again. So we are back. This is the official first episode of the new style, new cast, new crew. Hopefully, plan to add two more guys later. Nathan might know exactly who they are. And but for right now, we want to just jump right into it. So before we get into our main topic, which is our personal game of the year contenders so far this year, and there has been an absolute banger of games this year. Um, but to start things off, we'd like to do just a little bit of rambling, a little bit of ranting, and I wanted to start it off by asking Nathan and then seeing what you guys think about the whole Microsoft situation. So the Microsoft situation going on lately is, if those of you who don't know, Microsoft raised the prices of not only the gaming consoles, so the Xbox Series S and X, to astronomical prices that are almost insane for the way that the economy is right now. And then they felt the need to raise the prices of Game Pass. Game Pass is now in three tiers. You've got basic, premium, and then ultimate. Ultimate being at $30. There is no option to do the full year plan, so it's $30 a month. No other option to do that, which equates for about almost 300 and I think it's a little over $350 a year, which is
360, which you
yeah,
can make 360 jokes all you want, but
yeah,
I think the internet has plenty of jokes about that already.
which is
Like, you
insane.
brought back the 360, but in the worst way possible.
Which is insane and absolutely not worth that price. Granted, you are, well, we'll get into it in a second. But yeah, Nate, going over to Microsoft and seeing all the price hikes, what are your feelings on it? And do you think this is the nail in the final nail in the coffin for Microsoft? Like, are they done?
Let's see. Let's see price comparisons. I don't know. I don't think this will be necessarily the death of it, but it's definitely a show of I don't think they've had their priorities on the gamer as much as they really like to pretend they do. They like to pretend they offer like good quality in terms of like I mean they do offer good quality. Don't get me wrong. They offer Game Pass, and Game Pass was a very good deal for a very long time. I can't really say firsthand because I'm a PlayStation baby. I've never been on Xbox, so I can't really say that like, oh, this is how it is. So I'm gonna say this from an outside perspective. What my perspective was, Xbox Game Pass was a great value for people who just didn't want to buy games. And it's like, hey, if you're paying a certain amount of money a month, that's just guaranteed money you're getting, even if they're not buying anything. Which I don't see numbers, so I don't know if this is actually profitable for them or not. But I can guarantee you that making your console so expensive that nobody can afford it is not going to do anything except basically price out an existing console. Or maybe they're trying to speed up how expensive we think a console should be. Because if you think about it, PlayStation did a similar thing with the PlayStation 3 back in 2005 when it was $600.
Right.
But then again, they didn't increase the price from 500 to 600. It was just 600 at launch, and then they released cheaper ones later. Whereas Xbox is getting more expensive. I don't think there's actually ever been a time in gaming history, I think, where prices for consoles go up rather than down.
Yeah, so there is that thing too that the cheapest price you will have gotten a PS5 at is launch. That's the
At
cheapest the
launch,
PS5 will have ever been.
which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. If that, like, bro, like, nah, dude.
Yeah, right? Like launch
It's
is
that's like that's the most backward kind of thing. It's like, when does technology become more expensive? That makes no sense.
yeah,
Eh,
and
like
that goes back to the way that the economy is right now, unfortunately. So yes, unfortunately, in the way of the world that it is right now, things are continuously going to go up. A lot of people blame that on the tariff situation because of like syscons and all that stuff that are harder to get now, or the silicons, I mean. So chips and all that being higher, eh, I think that it, for me personally, I think it's just the gaming industry finding a way to tap more money out of it due to the increasing rise of making these games, which what Call of Duty's what averaging about 200 million just for production.
yeah, it's I'm gonna say this right now. We have a major problem where for in some areas we're really just wasting money and wasting just a bunch of. I don't understand why it takes 1,000 people in 5 years to make one video game these days. It's like you're gonna it's like it's a huge, either a huge money laundering scheme, or it's just like when when the government's like, hey, we made jobs, and it's just like, these are the jobs you made.
Which is actually going to bring us into our topic later on when we get into that game of the year thing. So yeah, I mean, personally, my opinion on her Xbox is just go third party. Put your games on PlayStation. There is that long-awaited rumor that the Master Chief will be heading to PlayStation soon. They have an event coming up with the Halo Championships coming up, where there's supposed to be some kind of major reveal, and we've already gotten Gears of War on the PlayStation 5, which is amazing. And
Oh, dude, I'm playing Gears right now with my buddy, and it's I never actually like played Gears, but it's fun,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, and
I love Gears of War. It makes you actually feel like the game's treating you like an adult. The propane tanks you have to explode in order to like light the way. They're like a very like weirdly hard to see white color, and because they're propane tanks. If you know
right,
propane tanks, they're freaking white. So they're like so it's like, okay, they're not some like kind of like orange paint or like yellow paint where it's like, hey, go shoot the thing and it explodes, right? No, it's like, no, look at the thing that looks like a propane tank. You're an
right.
adult, okay? Like, I
Ex-
was like, dude, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that. And then when the game kept kicking my ass, I'm like, all right, it's treating me like an adult, fine.
yeah, and Gears of War honestly feels like it belongs on PlayStation. So I can only await the Chiefs' arrival. Um,
Oh yeah, no, dude, no, trust me, I will play Halo as soon as it hits PlayStation. Definitely.
oh yeah. All right, so that was our one rant that I wanted to get out of the way and just see what people's feelings are on that. So do comment below and let us know what your take on the whole Microsoft situation is. Are you in? Are you out? Are you waiting to see kind of where it goes? And do you just want them to go their way of Sega and just make games for everyone? Um, but moving on to the main topic, just because we are getting right back into this, so it's going to be fresh. So we're going to have some stumbles, and this is basically just the first episode slash test run. And but yeah, the main topic here today is going to be our personal game of the year. I do believe, just because conversations that me and Nathan have, I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be the same. Um, I'm pretty sure he knows which one I'm talking about already. Um, but yeah, so I'd say let us pick three. Um,
I
you
got a list of games pulled up right now.
perfect.
I'm looking at them like, and I already know what I've played, but I'm also like looking at like other games released this year, and I'm like, I'm trying to just like, just get a like a feel for like in general. But
Right.
and my feelings are still yeah.
Yeah. So I will give the floor to you since you are the new guy and my new co-host. So as tradition, I always give the co-host first to go. So we'll do three being the least, and then one being the your personal game of the year, what you want it to be. And then we'll do rotation. So you go, I go, you go, I go, you go, I go, and then we'll wrap things up. So you're number three, Nathan. Number three for game of the year. What you got?
Okay, so actually one. So my number three will actually be Silent Hill F, but I will say honorable
Gotcha.
mention Metal Gear Solid. The Metal Gear Solid Delta remake was incredible.
Nice.
I don't feel comfortable putting on the list just because it is a remake.
Yeah.
It would be number three if it was, but unfortunately, it's a game from 2004. I can't really be like, okay, yeah, game of the year 21 years later.
Take note of that, Jeff Keighley, because yeah, that's the proper way of doing things.
And also, I actually screw that. I will say screw it. Okay, never mind. I will say we'll talk about Silent Hill F another time. I actually just realized now there's another game I kind of hold a little bit higher in that regard. So I'll say Silent Hill F was great, but that goes honorable mentions. My actual number three, Night Elden Ring Night Rain.
I knew it. Oh yeah.
I
So
put too much time into that game. I put
yes.
too much. I put like 250 hours into that game, and like that's a lot for me. I'm usually the kind of gamer to where like I played the Metal Gear Solid Delta remake once,
Mm,
and I was like, yeah, this is the perfect version of what it was because I played through it several times. I played through it several times on the HD collection version. I think I played through a little bit on the original PS2 version. I played through once on the 3DS version. I know this game moderately well. Uh, so but yeah, yeah, no, like I only played through it once, so I was like, okay, but like I'm usually one and done story games. I don't want to like if it's a story based thing like Metal Gear Solid clearly is. I want to just get through it once and then be done. I might go
right.
through it again for gameplay reasons because I do think gameplay wise it is really good.
Yeah.
Like gameplay wise it is a fantastic game. It's just I usually go to Metal Gear for story. So usually when I'm done through it once, I'm kind of just done for a while, and I'll go back to it whenever I feel like it.
Yeah. Metal Gear
But
4
Elden
is
Ring Night Rain, I put too much time into that game.
so why
250 hours still going.
so it being your number three, why are you giving it your number three spot?
Purely because, like, well, even though number two is also a sequel, Elden Ring Night Rain being a kind of like a side spin-off game. I love Elden Ring. I love Night Rain. I really do. I platinumed the game. I love it. It's great.
Damn,
I did
nice.
everything. No, I the platinum's actually to be fair, it did take me like 100 hours to do it. It was ridiculous. But I've soloed several of the bosses. I've done way too much in that. But I say that even, but like it is basically just a side multiplayer expansion to Elden Ring, even though they changed up a lot of mechanics in a very fun and meaningful ways that actually make going back to Elden Ring almost kind of feel weird, but that's mostly due to fall damage.
Right.
It's like the feeling of going from Elden Ring to Dark Souls, where you're just like, dude, if I fall 3 feet, I'm gonna die. Whereas like this one is just like, no, seriously, and there's no fall damage in Night Rain, so you feel comfortable just jumping off of stuff. And then in Elden Ring, you're like, I was playing through Elden Ring with a buddy of mine. I'm helping him through. We're in Caelid, and I just jump off like a lift. I'm like, oh frick, I forgot. There's fall damage. Damn it! I'm come back to the grace and pick me up. But yeah, but no, I there's a lot that they add in Elden Ring Night Rain. Dude, they finally made Mage and Arrow classes fun. Like
Nice.
the Iron Eye is the most busted thing. That is the
Yeah.
most busted class, and it's amazing. I've soloed the Equilibrious Beast on the Everdark version. Like it's genuinely the win button. It's hilarious. But they made that fun. I didn't think bows and arrows would ever be fun in a Souls game. And
Right.
then the if you know what you're doing, the Duchess, not the Duchess, the Recluse class, the Mage class, um, she's really useful if you know how to use her. Especially if you have teammates that also are using elemental stuff, because that's how you actually. And I'm not going to get too much into the weeds of it, but there's a lot of great stuff they added in Night Rain. I just don't. It's just more of an expansion or a spin-off of a
Right.
full game
It,
from last year or from a couple years ago. And as much as like I would love to keep giving Elden Ring its due diligence and like its due and its just rewards and all that because they deserve it. It's from software. They
right.
deserve it. If you know the history of from software, they deserve it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not gonna
Free
like
Bloodborne.
bring Bloodborne to PS5. God damn it, 60 frames at the very least. I come on, man.
Oh yeah.
If Activision can can get them to release a single game through them. It's like I love bringing up Sekiro as like that was a single player
No,
game
we don't
released
talk
by.
about Sekiro here. We don't talk about Sekiro.
Uh,
I hate that game.
uh, well, it's just like the fact that it was a single player game made like that was published by Activision.
Yeah.
By that, it's just like even if you don't like Sekiro, like just like it's too hard, you don't like
Oh yeah.
design. Just on paper, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I had a DualSense controller that was KIA due to Sekiro. So we don't talk about Sekiro.
No, but that, I was just bringing up for like just for
Yeah.
fun comparisons.
Oh
But
yeah.
no, like I love giving. I like now. I feel like I need to bring. I never experienced any From Software games up until I started playing like Bloodborne and then Elden Ring and all that stuff. I gone back and played Armor Core, realized they've been coded for a hot minute
Oh yeah.
actually. I need to start like kind of just singing the praises of From Software because they've been had for a hot minute and we've only kind of just noticed that they're really good at this actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no,
But,
Night Rain
but
definitely is up there.
two others I like more because they're actual like just they are unique experiences. Granted, one's a sequel. We You already know the other one,
I
but
know the other one.
uh yeah, but like I had to bring it up just because of how much time I actually put into it, and no
No, for
matter how
sure.
much like it had like top like if it was a top five list, it'd be at number five because like okay, it's still technically a side game. It's like I have to mention it,
Oh yeah.
but because I put too much time into it. But at the same time, it's definitely like, all right, it's the first one I'll mention and get out of the way first before I move on. You know what
For
I mean?
sure.
But yeah,
So
that's my piece on Night Rain. It's
nice.
oh sorry, you were saying?
No, 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 you're all good.
Now I'd say I don't like assigning numbers to anything because numbers are silly. Um, yeah, no, because I can't quantify like my experience with Night Rain in like a singular number because there's a lot of things I like, a lot of things I dislike, and a lot of things are like changing with it because it's an online game. That's kind of how they are. They're constantly evolving, but nah, it was way too much fun. I think overall it'd be one of those things where I'll look back on and be like, I had a lot of fun, but it's not gonna be one of those things where I'd be like, I want to go back to it as much as I would like.
Right.
I would definitely like a full like now let's get everything done in Elden Ring, kind of like in a base Elden Ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I
I'd
mean,
rather have like a full let's do everything kind of experience in Elden Ring than do more runs in Night Raid in the long run.
yeah.
Though I'm definitely doing it right now because it's a little bit more pick up and play. You can kind of just
Your
get a
number
run in 45 minutes and be done.
your number rankings can't be anywhere as bad as IGN's. So
Bro, there's one dude. They gave Battlefield 6 a 5,
Yep.
even though I heard that game was actually good.
And they gave Concord a 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can tell when they're getting paid for these reviews. It's hilarious. It's like you can actually kind of.
Well, they say that they don't, but yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I think it's just maybe people who are like in the industry who don't really deserve to be in.
yeah,
Or
there's
people
a
who
lot
are
of
only
them
in
at
this
that.
in the industry because they're like, well, I should be in the industry because I have the right to. It's like, yeah, you have the right to.
Yeah,
Shouldn't doesn't mean you should.
IGN has a
If
lot
you
of
don't
those
actually
guys for sure.
love it, you shouldn't be there. My opinion.
Yeah.
But
All right.
anyway,
So
uh, what about yours?
my number three, um, just got done, finished it recently. Um, Played it on my Switch 2. Had to justify the Switch 2 because it ain't doing it by itself. Um, so on the Switch 2, I played and is my number three for game of the year, which one of our coworkers would definitely be proud of. So number three for me, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Um, great game. Fantastic story. Absolutely infuriating platforming. Um, but also rewarding. Hollow Knight plays like a dream, and
Oh yeah.
the story is immaculate. The level design is perfect. The enemies are both infuriating and rewarding to fight. Um, and it just picks up right where the original one left off, and it's an amazing game. I'm glad that I played it. Glad that I beat it. It is my number three. Only thing, man, they need to push an update because some of the directional platforming is just ugh. But and it could have just been the Switch 2 also, being the least powerful machine out there right now. Um, but yeah, no, incredible game. Honestly, probably actually going to be contending for the top 3 spot in the actual game of the year.
I do hope it does, just if anything, to kind of just shove more AAA out of the way. I think that'd be
Exactly,
funny.
exactly, and then that goes
It's
right
like
into my
fucking
and that
a
goes
$20 games you get all past all your $60 games.
which goes into my next point too, is that it was funny because a lot of the industry people, the big guys, were upset that Hollow Knight kind of dropped themselves where they dropped themselves. They few of them,
You'll find the losers are often the whiniest people.
yeah,
It's hilarious.
a couple of them actually came out and said that it was rude that Hollow Knight came out and dropped anywhere near their game, Borderlands being one of them. Um, but yeah, man, just an incredible game. Like, absolutely loved it. Uh, yeah, Mavs would be
Oh yeah,
proud.
fuck yeah.
Now,
I will.
one like again, the one thing I did have a harp on it was just that the some of the platforming is just kind of ridiculous and annoying. But other than that, I mean, it was really really great. Um, but yeah, a $20 game, and this to my main point that I'm trying to make here is that it's a team of 11. I think, right? Team Cherry's 11 guys. I think.
I'm not
Yeah, let's look that up real quick. But
Team Cherry.
my point being is that that small team made a game like that, and yes, it did take them a little bit of time, and yes, it was controversial, and there was rumors of it being canceled, and this and that and this and that. Is it ever going to come out? They had our buddy Mav's hair turning gray because there was never a release date. But if a small team can do that with the minimal amount of money that they had, and for some reason we keep getting shitty games like Battlefield and Call of Duty and all these other games annually, and they just can't do the same thing, I think we got an industry problem.
Yeah, I hold on. There's no goddamn way. There's
The number's small. It's very small.
it's no. The reason why I'm triple checking is I need to make sure it's actually this. Yeah, it's got this goddamn small. Holy shit. So it's like 5 people.
Yeah, it's a group of guys and they all live in like the
It,
same
it
apartment.
and two of them was like handle like that one did PR and one composed for it.
Yeah,
So it's like the person who did the art, like the artist designer and the coder, those were 3 people. So if you want to be like in terms of like the game, if you want to leave out the OST in terms of like whether or not like a game like a complete game is complete without an OST, which I personally believe,
yeah,
or if you want to be like okay in terms of art, like in terms of like actual like the meat of the game, 3 people.
yeah, yeah. An incredible
Um,
made millions doing it too. So yeah, Hollow Knight Silk Song. That's my number 3. Moving on, Nathan, you're number 2.
all right, so I feel like I'm gonna have to justify this one. It's Death Stranding 2. God damn it.
Mine too.
No.
It's mine too.
Nah, dude. Nah, dude. I'm a Kojima fanboy. I'll admit it. If you know,
Hey,
I love metal. I love the Metal Gear games when I got into them, and then yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 4 is still the goat.
that's the kind of game where I feel like you can only really truly understand the pain of that if you like actually like just go through the whole. You can't start that
Mm-hmm.
or like oh I like watched a cutscene movie of the other one so I can play 4. You missed you missed the point, bro.
Yep.
You missed the point.
Yeah.
Like four is a four is a lot. I'll get we'll move on. We'll talk about 4 another time because we can do a whole Metal Gear
Oh
conversation like
yeah.
by itself.
Oh yeah. Plan to do that actually. Um
Death Stranding 2, it was so. The more I look back on it, I'm actually like kind of genuinely surprised. I kind of like it's not that I didn't notice it. It's just I didn't really talk about like the AI stuff because like I'm not gonna go into spoilers about like in terms of like what the overall experience like leads to. I'll kind of just like explain why I kind of feel certain ways about certain things. the game at some point felt almost perfectly paced to a T, like a strange way. Because you're like, normally Kojima games are like weirdly paced.
Oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Death Stranding 1 is a
This
perfect
one was
example of that.
like, here's the no, like yeah, I'll agree. Here's the thing: Death Stranding 2, you play through it mission to mission. It's the most perfectly paced video game I've ever played in my life. You do like a decent chunk of like 20-minute mission, then you do a 5-minute cutscene, and you do rinse repeat ad nauseum for 30 hours until you get told that basically it was AI generated.
Yeah.
And you're like, and you don't, and you kind of fall, you kind of get lulled into this like comfort, like kind of weirdly, like either for some people find like kind of like a comfortable game loop if you're already into this, but for some people like us, like it was kind of like a little monotonous and kind of boring. Which if you're, eh, maybe if you're being, maybe if you're just using cars the entire time, yeah.
Yeah.
Which to be fair, at some point I'm like, yeah, I want to just like go mission to mission, so I can get to the next cutscene and boss fight. But I feel like it gives you that ability. That's what like the actual like the tools they give you is the difficulty slider. If you want to make this hard on yourself, fucking walk, bro.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Oh
If you
yeah.
want to make this easy on yourself, get on a trike. You know what I mean? Like that's like how you interact with the world and how you do your delivery is up to you. They give you plenty of options. You can like just take your cargo and do the speed thing and just run like Roadrunner across the map. It's like there's plenty of things you can do, uh, and I feel like that's the kind of game where it gives you so many tools that it's really easy to fall into like a a certain play style where you're like, I just like doing it like this, like especially if you're just driving a big ass car, because that's a very easy play style to do. And if you kind of know how to like Skyrim your way up mountains with the car, you're fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but like when it gets when it hits you with the point where it's like this entire experience has been AI generated, and then it's like weirdly I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense actually.
Yeah, it did. Um
Which
yeah,
like
for
it's also like everything's like almost like a thematic parallel to the first game. It's like there are beats that are just like straight up the first game, so it's like it's definitely doing the whole like Metal Gear Solid 2 again, where it's like the whole thing is the idea of it being a copy of the first game and it kind of playing on that. You know what I mean?
right. The whole thing though, I liked when the thing about Death Stranding 2, since it is my number 2 as well, so um I did
Yeah, I
like
figured
the
this was
whole
more back and forth.
yeah, I like the whole US Mexico border thing, which was actually like really fun. The BTs did become stronger in this game, so they were more of a pain to deal with, and then natural disasters with the gatequakes and all this other stuff on there. My only my only gripe with the game, and because it was it's because it was so just out of nowhere. And again, no spoilers, guys, but the final battle, it was one of the weirdest non-acid trips that I have ever been on. I had to pause it and think, like, is this really happening? So, but yeah, no, Death Stranding number 2 for me. But yeah, no spoilers, and there's no way for you not to spoil it because it is so story
It's
heavy.
already been mean.
Yeah,
I mean, to be now, well, Matt, and it. If I were to try to explain this to you in like 30 seconds, it just wouldn't actually like
and it
stick.
wouldn't
You know
make
what I mean?
sense. Yeah, it would make sense. So
It,
if you haven't played
it,
it, if
yeah.
y'all haven't
Well, at
played
least that's
it,
like the wonderful
definitely
magic
do
of
it.
Kojima. The wonderful magic of Kojima games is that they're just kind of you kind of have to be. It is pretentious. It is the idea that you have to kind of know what's going on because God forbid you know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost feel like the idea of like that's pretentious. It's like you're kind of just assuming that you can kind of just to jump into anything and like know what you know like know what's going on immediately, and that's like fine. It's like why are we baby proofing entertainment?
I honestly
You know?
I can't wait for OD. I want to see what that is.
Oh fuck
So
yeah, it looks
yeah,
so good.
so we'll see. I mean, I have no doubts that that's gonna come to PlayStation too. So, um,
Oh for sure. I mean,
but
yeah.
Death Stranding went to Xbox, so I'd assume that OD will be coming to, especially since it. No offense to you, Microsoft fans, it's not gonna sell anything over there. And players played versus copies sold is two different things. Um,
Yeah,
but
because like a plenty of people play Death Stranding 1 on Xbox. It like reached like it reached 30 million players like who have played it. But that is, I can guarantee you that's a lot of people who played it for like a couple hours and were like, "This is just delivering packages."
and the stats actually
And us
showed that,
crazy
yeah.
people are like, "Yeah."
Welcome to UPS Simulator. But
Absolutely.
if you haven't played it, definitely go out and play it because us explaining it wouldn't do anything for you. It's one of those things that you have to experience yourself.
Oh,
Um,
even the thing I mentioned, it's just like that's such like a by the end of the game, you're not even thinking about that.
yep.
Like that's just like the kind of like the first thing that kind of like breaks it breaks the whole like the cycle that you find yourself in. You kind of find yourself in a the whole game is about basically falling into a stagnation and like that's the whole thing of like finding yourself in a circle and then stagnating and dying that way. I'm not going to get into this, but
Right.
you get broken out of that and like you get broken out of that and by something, but like first they tell you, yeah, this whole thing's AI generated, you're in a loop right now, and then they break you out of it, and then last couple hours when the game goes absolutely bananas.
Yeah, for sure.
And the reason why the I think the reason why those last couple hours stand out is because the whole rest of the game in comparison is so kind of tame. I mean, granted, you also have the ba bum ba bum 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 bum. You know,
Yep.
so like there's that, but and also Pekko Pekko and literally goddamn Mamoru Oshii as a pizza maker teaching you karate is hilarious, bro.
Dude, and the acting in this
That's a
game,
fever dream.
the acting in the game was phenomenal. You got
Good.
Norman Reedus, Guillermo del Toro, um, other people in there that I can't remember their names, but man, acting phenomenal. Shout out to Norman Reedus, possibly the future Ghost Rider.
Oh, dude, I would love that. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
it just
One
makes
thing I
perfect sense.
There was one thing I wanted to say because thought left my mind. Never mind.
Well, yeah, that's our take on Death Stranding, guys, and I already know what our number one is. I'm pretty sure it's the same,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna let Nate say it. So yeah, moving on to number one, our personal game of the year, and yeah, take it away, Nathan.
Claire Expedition 33.
That's the one.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33. God damn it, yeah. I'm only like this because like it's like it's weirdly like kind of like damn it wasn't even like really much of a contest, dude. It was kind of
No,
like even if you look through like all the other like the games that were released this year, I haven't heard much. Like, I heard good stuff about Wilds, but like Monster Hunter Wilds, but like I
yeah, all right.
I've heard we're gonna not talk about Ghost Yote until other people like you guys you or maybe other people have played it. I'm not gonna play it mostly because I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
So and plus I just don't care. I didn't care in the first place, and I don't care now.
exactly. Yeah.
Doom: The Dark Ages. I heard that it's okay.
When I had Game Pass, it was okay. It was a Doom game. Nothing too much out of it.
I heard it was like weirdly like not like it was like okay, like like either like some people like it as much as like Doom 2016, but like
Mm,
they probably like Eternal more, or like they probably see it not even as good as the original
not as
Doom,
good as
which
16. Yeah,
is tough. No, because like I played through a decent chunk of 16, and I'm not a good first person shooter. I don't play those games at all.
gotcha.
Um, and so like I wasn't able to get too far into it, but even like just design wise, I was noticing I'm like, okay, this is a really like competent game. The actual it doesn't feel like you're being overwhelmed with enemies too often, like but like at the same time, there's a good balance here. There's a good rhythm. It doesn't feel like just absolute chaos, but like controlled chaos.
Right, right.
I don't know. It maintains its difficulty while also not being feel like you just got swamped with like a Dynasty Warriors amount of enemies on the screen.
Yeah,
And like I heard Borderlands 4 was good. I
just really
heard like
buggy.
I heard it was better than 3, so there's that. Avowed was disappointing. Assassin's Creed Shadows was Assassin's Creed Shadows. Uh, I'm just going through the other ones because like the reason I bring this up is because like no other game really kind of like was just like nah, this was just too good, bro. Like no other one was just like an absolute like 10 out of 10. If you did, like I can't understand like any other hatred besides like if you just genuinely can't stand turn-based combat, there's absolutely no reason as to why you can't like this game. I don't know. It was just too good of a. It was just way too good of a game. I'm like, I don't even know. It kind of felt weirdly discouraging playing anything else because I was like, God, what could beat this?
Yeah, I honestly haven't played very much since Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Actually, currently I'm going through the original Resident Evil trilogy, leading
Nice.
up to Final Fantasy, leading up to Resident Evil 9 here in February. But yeah, I told our buddies at the shop. I said, Claire Obscure, honestly, it ruined gaming for me because it hit in a way that a game hasn't hit since the original Final Fantasy VII. Um, it hit me emotionally. It hit me, um, just everything about it. Now, do keep in mind, people, we will potentially be getting into spoilers into this one. So if you haven't played Claire Obscure Expedition 33, we'll do our best not. We will be hitting some story beats, but so just be on the lookout if you don't want to hear that. Kind of move ahead, but yeah, we're gonna be getting into this because this is our game of the year. So if you haven't played it yet, sorry, it is on Game Pass, or you can get it on PlayStation 5 right now. There's a rumor Switch 2 port coming. That's gonna be awful, but but yeah, no. Story wise, oh my gosh, the story. Um, just from the very beginning. So from the very beginning, when you first step into the shoes of Gustav, it's Gustav and Mael, and you guys are running around the story, and you're looking for his ex girlfriend at this point. Um, some beginning of the game stuff kind of takes place and does its thing, and then you realize that some of these people are on borrowed time, and you didn't realize how close this borrowed time is. Looking for your ex Sophie, and you're doing your thing, and then you realize, and this is where the game hit me already in the very beginning. You realize that their time is coming, and they're about to get Thanos snapped. Um, the whole thing about Expedition 33 is that up to a certain age, once this certain thing hits that age, you have a full year, and once the clock strikes down, you then disappear. Um, and effectively every year it goes down. Every time it'll go down. So you see the Thanos snap at the very beginning, and that's when I was like, "Oof, we got a game on our hands here." Um, and then it goes into its story beat, and you meet characters that are just hilarious. Monoko being my favorite character in this game, um, voiced by, I forgot his name, but then you have possibly one of the most underrated villains of all time, I would say, with Renoir, who's voiced by Andy Serkis, who's at this point one of the greatest actors of all time. Um, the music in this game is absolutely phenomenal. The story, I counted it up. I probably came to tear about 4 to 5 times just from the story alone. Um, and then I left the game when I finally beat it. Left the game sitting there. I sat there for like 10 minutes thinking to myself, like, dude, what an adventure! And yeah, even today I think about it all the time. I still find myself humming the uh the main song for the town, the first town, and it's just like, oh man, Lumiere. All the time I'm humming that song. So yeah, for me it was just a phenomenal ride, and definitely
Nah,
my
there was
game of the year.
yeah. Nah, there was like a solid month where like if I just thought about that ending cutscene with Verso, I'm not gonna like super spoil it right now, but like where he just like
Yeah.
uh takes up like the younger version of takes the younger version of himself as like time to go. Bruh, I think about that moment, I'm like, I start tearing up. It's
Yeah.
no that game got me really good, bro. That first hour, I'm like, oh, we're in for a ride, bro. We're in for a ride.
Oh yeah.
Also, like, I love how like in this game the villain is a loving and caring but very misguided father. God forbid.
Right. And then the game itself also, no, all good. The game itself does have multiple endings, so um
Yeah.
ultimately at the end you have to decide which way you want to end things, one ending I could see definite leads into a sequel, and the other ending ties the story up and doesn't need a sequel. But I think I know what ending they're going to choose ultimately as the canon ending. Um, but yeah, man, what a ride! Just thinking about it now makes me want to go back and play it. Which it's actually getting an update here soon with a new area and new boss fights. So that is
Bro,
exciting.
imagine a great side note. But imagine a game franchise where every sequel is like it continues on from the bad ending, but the good ending is usually considered like the canon ending. It's like
Yeah.
if you want to be like, okay, well, canonically, it's like it ends here, but the bad ending leads to the next one. If you want to continue down this little path of misery,
AKA The Legend of Zelda.
oh,
um, but yeah, I mean, man, just thinking about it, just the music alone, I can hear the music in my head right now. I'm just like, man, what a great game. But again, Monoko, Monoko's the goat, and he likes feet, which is weird.
so does Hideo Kojima. Come on, I'm
That's
joking.
true.
That's a tangent. I think that's just a film director thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the guy at Nickelodeon liked feet too. We know how that went. Gotta have some controversy on here. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's honestly that's our game of the year, guys. So yeah, it makes sense. Me and Nathan pretty much similar, same taste as far as gaming goes. Um, but yeah, you learn more about people the more that you work with them, and yeah, working with Nate was one of the highlights of doing what I do. And now that we're working on here together, think I see good things coming. Um, so to close things out, like we always do, we talk about what we're playing. So, what are we playing, Nathan? And what are your plans for your next game?
Right now I'm playing through. I just did the last ending for Silent Hill F. I have,
Nice.
unfortunately, because I screwed up in my trophy hunting. I unfortunately have I have two playthroughs left I need to do, so that's going to be
Uh,
another 10 hours maybe. It's because it's the trophies I'm missing are tied to the final bosses of the normal ending, and then I think the second ending. So
gotcha.
yeah,
I have not
I'm like,
started.
well,
I have not started Silent Hill F yet. It is still wrapped in its plastic. I am going to do that possibly tomorrow.
it's good. I think that I really do genuinely need to either hardcore go back and like look at horror games and seeing like what do horror game fans actually want out of a combat system, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I like the combat system.
I hear good things about
Like I hear a lot of people whining like a little baby about it, and that's usually because
it.
they did their first playthrough on hard mode. I'm like, yeah, duh. Enemies are going to be taking a lot of damage, and maybe you shouldn't be fighting everything. It's almost like a horror game where you have to pick your battles. I'm like,
there was a little bit
I
of a
almost
there was a little bit of controversy about that versus story mode versus hard mode. So yeah, I get where that yeah.
I, I played through it on hard mode my first playthrough. It
Nice.
put hairs on my chest for sure. However, like it wasn't the most impossible thing in the world, trust me. Like it really wasn't that bad. I played it on Lost in the Dark difficulty, and that became almost like, dude, that final boss, if anybody's gonna call it like a Souls comparison because you have to basically lock in and just don't screw up for a specific amount of time, that'd be it. Because because wow, that was just I just felt like I was just constantly just like and then just but like just nothing, and then like eventually I'm like, oh, fight's over, thank god, oh my god.
Nice. Yeah.
but
Yeah, I got to start that
but
game.
it's really good. I just recommend doing story and story, and then work your way up from there. Like the game is meant to be replayed multiple times, and your health upgrades and all that stuff carry over, so it really should just have started people on like story and story. The fact they actually had like, well, I think they had the action difficulty set, the story and the puzzle set to hard. I think that's the default.
All right.
But if that's the case, please do that. Don't try to be a tough guy and be like, I'm gonna put the combat to hard too. You're gonna have a bad time, and then you're gonna blame the game because apparently we haven't learned that I don't. I actually do genuinely need to understand what people expect from like difficulty levels. Like, if you're not expecting enemies to hit harder and for them to take more punishment, what do you expect? Like new moves? What? Like what do you want? Like
Right.
I don't know. It's like it feels like oh, I almost feel like we should just get rid of difficulties in games in general at this point, just so everyone has to like actually play the gosh darn game and get over it. Then
Every
again, these are the same kind of people who play turn-based RPGs and are like, I hate random encounters, then complain about grinding. It's like, well, if you would have had random encounters, you wouldn't have had to grind.
Yep.
That's the point of random encounters.
Yeah, so
But that's a game design talk for another day. But
oh yeah. Yep, for sure. Yeah, so for me, I am playing currently just so I've beaten Resident Evil 1 and 2, the originals.
I beat those actually recently. I think I told you right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I actually
Yeah,
I
no,
saw you playing them when I was playing them.
nice. Yeah, no, dude, I played Resident Evil 2 recently, and that was so much fun, bro.
Oh,
I
dude,
I
yeah.
never played through those games, and yeah, no, I was able to I was able to deal with the tank controls actually like pretty quickly. Like
Yeah,
I never actually did those I never did those back in the day. This was very much like, okay, this is new, but
you get used to them pretty
it's not
quick.
bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of
I
understand that you're controlling things from like almost like security camera perspective, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're not as fluid, obviously they're not as fluid as the remakes, but you get used to them real quick. You get that old, oh wait, I know how to do this. But yeah,
Yeah.
beat Resident Evil 1 and 2. Well, zero, 1 and 2. I
Nice.
am playing 3 currently. 3 is personally 2 is so 2 is my favorite, but I think 2 and 3 are tied for my personal favorite of all time. Um but
I
I
like three just for the fact that when you push down and then you hit square, you turn 180 degrees immediately. I'm
yeah,
like,
they also
oh my god,
introduced the
yeah,
counter
that's
system.
amazing. Yeah, no, there are a lot of gameplay features in that game where I'm like, nah, this is kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm currently playing through 3. I love 3 just because Nemesis was the ultimate um stalker. I mean, well, I call him Mr. T, but it's really Mr. X. Mr. T in remake was still I mean, is the greatest stalker of all time. But then OG
Oh, yeah.
Nemesis, just because you never knew where he was gonna pop out. It wasn't staged. It wasn't certain things like cinematic wise. Then you would see, oh, there's Nemesis. But most of the time, he kind of popped out where we want. So he would pop out like behind a bus for me, or up a sewer pipe, or random hallway, and he's just like, I'm gonna mess you up. But yeah, I'm currently starting and playing through 3, and then I will move on to 4 remake. Don't want to play the original 4. I'm gonna play the 4 remake. I'm gonna play it in VR. And then I have 5 and 6. 6 I do not want to play through, but I am going to. And then again, 7 and 8, I will be playing through VR, leading up to 9 in February. And we will see if my boy Leon makes his appearance at 9. Rumor is he's there. Um, I am going to play the Outbreaks because I want a little bit more background on the main protagonist for
Grace's
Nine's
character.
mother. Yeah, I do remember vaguely her story, but I want to know more, and I have to play those
I
to
think
get
her
it.
name is Grace. I could be
Grace is
wrong.
the new
Yeah.
protagonist. Yeah, Angela is
Yeah.
the original. Angela
Right.
Ashcraft.
Okay. My knowledge of Resident Evil is only like I've watched several like essays about like different stories and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like I've only played the first two and like a little bit of the third.
Oh
But I
man,
really like the third.
I've played every Resident Evil game they've put out there. I own actually a Game Boy version of Ninja. I own a gameplay
I do.
Gaiden. Yeah, I own Resident Evil Gaiden with Leon and
Nice.
Barry. But yeah, I played every Resident Evil game out there. Controversial, but one of my favorites is actually Operation Raccoon City. I love that game. Gears of War style, your Alpha Team, you just basically jack the G virus, and then you're kind of running through Raccoon City trying to get out of there because Umbrella turned their back on you, and you're at this point you're expendable. Um,
If the game design's good, then I like I'm the kind of person who are like if the game design is actually competent, I don't care if you do something that's like out of genre in comparison to like a previous game. It could have been like a side game. It's like, well, like when like a turn-based game has like an action RPG side, like a side game where it's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
actually really good, but even though it's like disconnected, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
That's perfectly fine.
it's a good game. It tells you kind of the story between 2 and 3 and what happened to the G virus and how it did its thing and all that. Yeah, that's what I'm playing. So yeah, man, this was awesome. Good episode
Oh
for
yeah.
number one, our game of the year edition. We will go back and revisit this once the game of the year is announced because we're gonna talk about who actually wins. I think we already both know who's
Oh,
gonna win.
actually,
So
okay. So like, what are predictions for like game of the year stuff here? Because like, I'm actually curious as to, like, what do you think is gonna like win for like certain things? Because like game of the year, I'm as much as I would love to think that Expedition 33 will get it because like it just clearly like, dude, soundtrack, gameplay, like the gameplay was the thing. It's like this was an Unreal Engine 5 game that didn't feel like garbage,
the
and I
only
say
Unreal
this as
Engine 5 game that worked.
and I say this lovingly towards Metal Gear Solid Delta and Silent Hill F. It's like, look, y'all are good, but at the same time, Expedition 33 made y'all look like amateurs. I'm just
Yeah, a
like,
team of
okay,
30 from Ubisoft.
and I like, well, with the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, I'm like, they're trying to be faithful to a game from 2004, so they're not trying to add particle effects where they're unnecessary. So I'm like, that's fine or whatever. That like, imagine like all like the garage sparkles and shit, like, but like the Metal Gear Solid Delta remake, that'd be so stupid. But yeah, no, like that game was way too good, but at the same time, like we also know how hashtag the industry works. Like,
Yeah,
Lord knows, like Ghost of Yote will probably be put in there somewhere, despite the fact it was released really recently, and
I I think so. There's usually there's only 5 slots for game of the year if I remember correctly. How Keeley does it.
Yeah,
So I think that game of the year contenders are going to be Ghost of Yote, Metal Gear Delta, um, Claire Obscure, um, Hollow Knight, and then Death Stranding. I think those are the 5. I I
same.
see I see Claire Obscure taking it. I honestly do. I don't see anything else that could top it.
I
But
don't think that.
but
Oh, sorry.
no, no,
You
no,
keep
you're all
going.
good.
Sorry.
I see Claire Obscure taking it. The only thing is Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima are too close. So if for some reason Death Stranding 2 wins, that's going to be ultra controversial because I don't see how Death Stranding beats Claire Obscure. Great game, great story. It's not game of the year contender in my opinion.
And like, I say this with the most amount of love in my heart, reverence for Kojima. I literally have a gosh darn Diamond Dogs tattoo on my ankle. I love Hideo Kojima's work, and I will always find something there to appreciate. Even what, like, I love Metal Gear Solid 5. We'll get into this at some point soon, but like, I love his work, but at the same time, Expedition 33 was just it. There's too many things that like made that game stand out as a special occasion where you could have had you could have gotten the Death Stranding equivalent of Metal Gear Solid 3 of being like, oh, you need to play this. You don't need to have played any other ones, but this is him at his peak. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It still probably wouldn't have done that just because it probably wouldn't have like beat that just because dude, Expedition 33 was made by 33 like was like made by like a handful of people. It was made by like a super small team. It it is one of those things where I think that it wins the heart of the people. It does pound for pound actually pull way above its weight in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of like how much it actually like got for how much notoriety it had even beforehand. Like I kind of remember I was like, oh yeah, Expedition 33, that RPG with Ben Starr in it from Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
The 8 out of 10 that I kind of just like. I, sorry, we'll talk about that another day.
I still
But
need to play
uh,
that.
but then but then I think like a week before it came out, then Expedition 33 like kind of was like starting to get like the rumblings on the internet was like, oh no, this game's actually really fucking good. And
Yeah.
then the day it came out, I managed to get a physical copy. I start playing it. I play through the first 2 hours and I'm like wiping my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? This is really good. And then
think you were the only one of us that
Yeah,
got a physical copy.
dude, I don't know how I got. I just went to GameStop and they're like, "Yeah, we got like 2 copies left." I'm like, "I'll take one. Thank you very much."
But yeah,
I don't know how that happened, but yeah, day of release, I managed to get a copy, which is wild. But yeah,
I think that's the one that that takes it though. But yeah, I see Death Stranding coming as a close second. But yeah,
no,
man,
I like yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
love Death Stranding too, but yeah, I just think that Expedition 33 does too many things like exceptionally that
It honestly
as much as
redefined JRPGs. Well, sorry, FRPGs because it's French.
I wouldn't even say redefined it. I think it reminded everyone why we like JRPGs because I think there's this misconception. I think we get like we kind of like, oh, like this game comes out and it like it like brings it for a modern age. It sometimes you need just a coat of paint to kind of remind you why those old game mechanics were actually good in the first place. You
I
know what I mean?
would I would love to see the third chapter of Final Fantasy VII go back to the Expedition
No,
33
dude, actually,
style.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of slap though. Like, it's like, okay, you have the FF7 Rebirth combat where it's like a lot of you can do a lot of crap in it. I haven't, I've only played Remake so far, but I know that Rebirth they just did way more stuff in it. The game's way too big. It
It's
like
yeah.
almost as a weird, like almost as a fault where you're just like, okay, can we like trim the fat a little bit here? I haven't gone through it yet, so I can't really say. But it'd be the weirdest fun, like full circle moment where the last game is turn
Yeah,
based.
that would be
That'd
dope.
be
I would love it.
that would be the most, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be the most goated thing ever.
Oh yeah.
That'd be the coolest fucking thing ever. If they made Final Fantasy 3, the remake 3 turn based,
Well,
that'd be the coolest thing Square Enix could do.
Square Enix did say
Like
that
that'd
they
be
like that style, so
no, because like, dude, I mean, especially Expedition 33 showed that like, hey, we still like turn bases. You gotta like they didn't even.
it was
It's
turn
like I don't
based.
want to
It was turn based without feeling turn based. How I describe it.
because it really just iterated on the systems that were kind of already there in like games like Shadow Hearts and Lost Odyssey.
Mm.
You just were able to get like the dodge and parry, which is like, okay, well, how do you
Oh,
integrate that into a turn-based system? Well, during the time when the characters are getting attacked, you were able to give them timed prompts, and if you're able to time it correctly, that's fine. That still is technically turn-based, but it's kind of borrowing from like the active time battle system of like a Final Fantasy or like in terms of like it being on a more active like things happen, you have to pay attention and that kind of stuff, but more of like a button pressing kind of thing like a Shadow Hearts or a Lost Odyssey, you know
right.
what I mean?
I'll just say that I beat Simon before I knew the mile hack, and I love parrying.
I like parrying.
But yeah, I mean, man, thank you, Nathan. This has been awesome, dude.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
so glad that the show is back. Glad that I have you as a co-host now. Um, hopefully we can get the other two guys involved and make this thing go further. But that's gonna do it for us this time, guys. Next week, since Nathan had brought it up, we're gonna talk some Metal Gear. Um, and then yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. As always, I am the Fat Man here at the Fat Man Gaming, signing out, and then say hello and goodbye to the new co-host Nathan. Nathan, thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys in the next one. And yeah, leave the likes in the comments. Peace.
I know, y'all. Later.